Hello and welcome back to Speed Build Sunday. Today I have a different build for you. I built a non-house build, if that makes any sense. So what I decided to do, I saw this thing on Instagram. I saw two different people do this. I'll put their names on the screen right here so you can go find their original builds if you want. But they made builds out of pumpkins. Obviously they're not going to be functional because it's a pumpkin house, but I was so inspired and I decided to do it and it was so much fun. What I ended up doing was taking two pumpkins and making like kind of like a two-room situation, but obviously it's not functional, so I used a lot of like tool mod to put the walls and the windows on, and it was just a lot of fun. It was so different from any other build that I've done before because it's not an interior build. There's no interior. It's just exterior landscaping, like adding some windows and stuff. So it was a lot of fun for me because I love landscaping. In case you didn't know, I don't know how you've gone this far but not known that I don't like landscaping, because like I love landscaping. So it worked out really well and I had so much fun with this build. Like I got it done in 3 hours. Like I haven't finished a build in 3 hours in so long, but I did it in one stream entirely and it turned out so well. I had a lot of fun like playing with different elements that we could do to like add things to it, because like I said before, I don't do non-functional builds like this, so it was a lot of fun to try and work around, see what we could do. Sizing and stuff was a lot of fun, and like combining packs as well. It was just so much fun. I had a good time with it. If you like landscaping at all, I highly recommend doing something like this. I also started a mushroom build as well with the same concept. I didn't end up finishing that one. It wasn't turning out how I wanted to, but it was still a fun idea to do. And one of my friends, Bezo Plays, decided to do it as well, but made a house out of a teacup. I'll put a picture here. It's so good. It was so fun. So I highly recommend it. You can find all kinds of these items in debug and you can just like add stuff to it, and it's just a good time. I had such a fun time. Like I don't know how to explain to you how much fun I had. And then I eventually decided that I needed more fall vibes because obviously it's a pumpkin house. So I went into live mode and brought a sim into the lot and like changed the season because it just adds so much to it by having it with like the fall leaves and like the purples and the reds and the oranges and the greens. Like it's so good. It's so good. I had such a good time doing it. I also did a similar, not a similar build, but like I took inspiration from a build I did in a few weeks ago with a cottage and had this like river going through the entire yard, which is a lot of fun. So I decided to do that here. But I couldn't figure out how to do a bridge because all of the debug bridges like were not working and just weren't really it. So I was like trying to build my own bridge. I decided to scrap that idea. Then I went onto an ad break and one of my community members during the ad break was like, hey, use this bridge from high school years. And so high school years has this really good bridge. The only problem with it is once you place it, you cannot remove it. So I had to be really careful because I could even select it with tool. Like I couldn't do it. So we had to be really careful, but I ended up deciding to add the river back in, and honestly, it just ended up amazing. Like it really just adds to it having the river flowing. And also you can see me here turning on my reshade, which even makes it so much better. It makes it so much better when you turn on the reshade. I'm currently in this video using Kindle Spice's Dove 2.0, which is one of my go-tos. Like it's my primary reshade at this point, and it's so good. I also wanted to add the water wheel, but there was nothing to like stick it into the water, if that makes sense. There was no base for it, so I decided to make a base. I was like trying to figure it out. I was like looking up inspiration pictures and like reference photos that we could use. I ended up using this like archway from Horse Ranch, which ended up working really well. Is it realistic? I have no idea. Would it function in real life? Also have no idea. But again, I love how it turned out. It's just, it has this like perfect vibe to it with the water wheel. I wish it did. I wish it spun. That's the only thing, is I don't think it spins in live mode. And I think that would just like add the little bit that you need. I also had such a good time placing all these rocks. I spent probably half this build just placing rocks around the pond. It took a while, but it's just really Debug Rocks and we just get along so well. It's probably like one of my favorite parts of landscaping is putting rocks in a pond and just placing rocks. I literally have a Twitch emote that says Rock Placing Simulator, and I have merch that has Rock Placing Simulator on it, and it's really funny, and it's become an inside joke about how I spend hours placing rocks in a build because you need it. You need to do it. And if you haven't done that with Tool, I highly recommend it. It is the whole reason I even have the Tool mod, is to place rocks, because I was doing a shell challenge probably 2 years ago now that I wanted up on a hill, but I wanted the hill to be like a rocky hill. Like I wanted to be full of rocks and covered in it. So I just literally downloaded Toolmod so that I could place rocks. And it was the best decision of my life, honestly, because Toolmod has genuinely changed my life. If you ever are thinking about getting Toolmod, I highly recommend it. And it does have a little bit of a learning curve, but once you figure out how to use it, it's fantastic. I have some tutorials on it on my TikTok. I wouldn't necessarily suggest watching them as they're a little bit rough around the edges. And I kind of did them before I like I knew how to use it at that time, but like I know how to use it so much better now. So I'm going to remake them at some point whenever I get to it. It'll happen. I'll remake it. I swear I will. If you're interested, you can check out the video, but I definitely made some mistakes, and Twisted Mexi himself, the creator of the tool mod and Better Build By, and like so many fantastic mods, literally went in my comments one day and was like, oh, and like responded to a bunch of comments correcting my mistakes. And I was like, wow, this is embarrassing, but also thank you. So that was an interesting time. Also, I spent so long looking at these debug fences to go with a non-debug fence. You'll see in a second that I literally just go with a fence from, I think, Cottage Living, and I don't even put it there where I was going to put it. But I didn't even end up using a debug fence. I just used a Cottage Living one. And I think it was a waste of my time to look at all of those fences, but it's fine. It ended up working out really well. It's just the fences were too big. They're just too big. Oh, it also wasn't Cottage Living. It was werewolves, or did we go to the Cottage Living debug? Honestly, it's been a little while since I've looked at this build. Oh, we're going with the debug. We're going with the debug Cottage Living, potentially. I feel like I changed it again. But honestly, at this point, who knows? I have changed my build so much. Okay, we do stick with the Cottage Living debug. So there you go. We also had to put a little tree focus. I also ended up putting a tombstone there because it's a Halloween. It's not Halloween build. It's a fall build, but Halloween and fall are the same thing. And my chat said, what if you put a tombstone? And I said, what if I do put a tombstone? And so we did. So I don't know who died there or who got buried there, but I think it's the person who grew up in the pumpkin. Whoever built the pumpkin, I think it's their tombstone. And honestly, they're not haunting. It's not a spooky one. It's like, oh, how sweet. They're buried on their favorite area that they ever built. You know, it's like that kind of thing. It's that kind of thing. It's not a spooky, scary tombstone. It's just like, it's a nice little thing. It's just nice. It's just nice. I also, at the end, I ended up using like a lot of werewolves, which I thought was kind of an interesting choice, as well as some like growing together here and there, just like throwing. I just kind of started throwing plants everywhere, and then I have to say the terrain paint really brings this all together. I spent a while doing the terrain paint, trying to find the right like directions, and then I even spent a very, very long time placing rocks along this path. And you'll see here, you can see there, I spent a lot of time doing this, and I think it was really worth it. I think in the end, it was very, very much worth it. But however, the video cuts off right about here because I ran out of space on my computer to record, but that's okay because I'm gonna go give you a tour. So this is the build. She is stunning. We love her. You go over here, you can see that we have our water wheel. We ended up putting in a pumpkin patch that was cut out of the video, but it's very cute. Here's the path that you did not get to see the rest of, and our water. The terrain paint's just so natural looking. We have our little like picnic area. We got some laundry and our little pumpkin house. And I just think it's so pretty. And oh wait, the water wheel does move. Okay, it looks really nice. Excuse me, the welcome wagon is getting in the way of my build. I've already canceled this. Why are you still here? I need everyone to leave my house because we're in live mode, because I got you just have to see it. Like, just listen to the birds. Just listen to the birds. It's so nice. I just would like to live here. I would like to live here. That is what I've decided. I'm going to move in. But that's the build. Like I said, there's not a lot to give you a tour of. It's not an interior, it's just landscaping, but I think it turned out really cute. The back is not so cute, but that's okay. We don't look at the back. We don't look at the back. We just look at the front. If you want to see some cute pictures of this as well, I have them on my Instagram, which is linked down below, as well as my Twitch, my Discord, my TikTok, all of it's there. I have another short little speed build of it on my TikTok as well, and a really cute cow plant video that I also filmed on the spot if you want to go see it on my TikTok. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!